In a week when protesters have once again taken to the streets of Islington, we look at the borough's revolutionary past. From Wat Tyler to Vladimir Lenin, some of history's most important radicals have lived in Islington through the centuries. We explore what lies behind the closed doors and secret passages of Islington's past. Join us on our walking tour.
So David, what can you tell us about this part of Islington?
This is an absolute hub of radical activity, Patrick. The Peasants' Revolt started from this spot in the 13th century. Oliver Cromwell owned a house just around the corner there during the English Civil War. Lenin published his newspaper in that building and reportedly met Stalin in the pub over there in 1903. Even today, the May Day riots begin from this spot.
We went via the Angel Inn, the old haunt of Tom Paine, to Jerusalem Passage. Hidden down this back alley, reformists fomented the rebellion which would later lead to universal suffrage and pay for MPs.
So David, why are we here?
The Chartists met here in the coffee houses of Jerusalem Passage 200 years ago.
Well, how come we're whispering?
They had to meet in secret. They were campaigning for things like universal suffrage, pay for MPs, secret ballot, all things we take for granted today, but what were very dangerous ideas at the time.
Pay £3 to see Karl Marx's tomb? He would be rolling in his grave if he knew. We took the cheap option and hopped over the fence to see the last resting place of communism's founding father and a pilgrimage site for his disciples.
So Patrick, why are we here?
Well David, we've come to the end of our tour and this is probably the most fitting place. Karl Marx's grave, scourge to many, hero to some. He lived here and died here.
All this may seem like old news and a long buried history, but the protests in the area this week show that the spirit of revolt in Islington still haunts the borough's streets. Estate agent anarchists and rebellious OAPs may not quite be the Marxes and Orwells of the 21st century, but they've still shown that there is no taking Islingtonites for granted.
This is Dave Bartram
And Patrick Whyte.
Islington now, Highgate Cemetery.